Good evening. I think I should start by introducing myself. I'm Ronald Chase. I'm the fellow that started Cine Club back in 1998. So we've been doing this a number of years. I certainly welcome you all to our first COVID viewing. Um, and I say I welcome you. I have no idea if you were there. That is the problem with this whole time. And I'm sure all of you have been on Zoom all week. So we tried to make this as clear and clean as possible. I usually introduce a film, and so that's what I will do today, because I think you need a little bit of help going into the film just to understand, one, why we're showing it, and two, what it's doing. Of course, many of you are going to go, are they crazy? What are they showing an action film for Cine Club? I'm sure some of it goes through your mind because we usually show you art films, we usually show you films with subtitles, we usually show you incredibly serious work, but I think this is one. Um, from my estimation, this is probably the very best action film that's ever been made. But of course, this is all personal, likes and dislikes. It means nothing. But I do think it's very ambitious, and it does capture many of the things that are missing from a lot of films today. What's really interesting about this film is that George Miller's been making Mad Max for years. The last Mad Max was in 1985, so there's a lot of time that's passed between the last time he confronted this character. This isn't a sequel. I would like to emphasize that basically the Mad Max films fit separately and alone, but they get more ambitious, more complicated, and in a sense, they grasp more of all the themes that he's interested in. Miller is interested in this film of perpetuating ideas in myth and basically legends. And so that the idea of the hero, for example, is pretty much turned on its end in this film, and yet it does fit certain kinds of patterns of heroes in the past, especially in Greek and Roman mythology. We have also, it has very clean lines. Like the first part of the film is the escape from oppression. The second part is the wanting to be free and basically independent. And then the third part is shifting one's allegiances and one's ideals so that they basically literally capture what is often best in the human character. Yes. So if you look at the film that way, it does fit many classic examples of these heroes. For example, two of them in this film somewhat reflect two characters in the Odyssey. In fact, the whole film is constructed a bit like the Odyssey, getting back home, going through all sorts of travails to arrive at your given home. In that sense, Odysseus and Achilles are basic templates in which the film fits. Mad Max, the other thing I'd like to mention is that Mad Max is the idea of the sort of tormented, completely traumatized hero that basically is always reluctant. He does not rush into killing and maiming people. He basically tries to avoid it, and he's always drawn in by other means. He's drawn in because injustices basically finally come to rest in him. In this film, he has been so traumatized, and he basically has been beaten down, and he is captured. And the interesting thing for me is that he's used as a blood donor that in this new sort of world that he finds himself. And so therefore the thrust and all the energy of the film is taken by another hero, we would say hero, which is a woman named Furiosa. So you kind of weigh those two things. And then the idea of Achilles. Achilles did not want to go to war. He refused. Odysseus kept pestering him, kept begging him because he knew he was the greatest fighter. And Achilles did not accept until his lover was killed. And when his lover was killed, he actually went to war as revenge. There is a less important character, but I think he's one of the major ones that basically fits that mold. Then we have all sorts of things the film brings in, and I think you will find them fascinating. The atmospheres, and also I have to mention something about the action. Now, most of you maybe do not like action films. I certainly don't. I am not a connoisseur of action films. I avoid them as much as possible. A bunch of bodies exploding, people falling around in space, pop bang. It of course is all from video games, and I go, no. I don't want to see films that are so stupid. Are they going to get caught? Are they going to survive? In this case, Mr. Miller has had a lifetime of thinking about editing and movement and action. And basically, you could look at this film very much like a dance film. You could watch the incredible variation of movement, the marvelous editing, and the marvelous, different variations that the movement takes on, and you could view the film very much like that. You do not necessarily have to view it as, an action film. I think all of those elements make this film quite exceptional, and I hope that you will keep thinking about the themes, about the simplicity of the set pieces, and that you will finally, have something to talk about at the end, because I would love to hear what you think about it.